Now, but
All right, it's 5 o'clock. Call to order this meeting of the town of LaPointe Town Plan Commission. This is a zoning rewrite question and answer session number 3. First item on the agenda is roll call. Charles Brummer
Jim Peters.
Joan Sarchet.
and Dave Elin is zoomed in. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening.
Item number 2 is draft zoning rewrite question and answer meeting schedule. All at the town hall from 5 to 6 or whenever we're over. September 24th, we covered sections 1 through 5. On October 8th, we covered sections 6 through 10. And tonight we're going to cover sections 11 through 16. And Rich, our zoning administrator, is going to do an overview of the process under item 3.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Charlie. So I'm going to go ahead and share the PowerPoint, very similar to what we've presented before. So please let me know if you can see it online. Awesome. Okay, that sounds good. So thank you very much. So, again, the zoning rewrite process, we had the zoning ordinance was last updated in 2019. And since then, the town published a comprehensive plan amendment back in 2024. And it was really a roadmap for the community to follow to achieve its goals. So the town's been working on this for a while. The draft rewrite was available to the public on August 14th. A public hearing was held on September 3rd. And then we've had 2 question and answer sessions already. First one was on September 24th, and the second one was October 8th. And tonight is really the final session for that. So, the public hearing was well attended, almost standing room only in this room. But the feedback provided that we all heard after that was that the community was very interested in the additional question and answer sessions. So the town heard that feedback loud and clear. And so tonight is the last of those 3 question and answer sessions. Again, September 24th and October 8th were the 2 previous. And those are both available on our YouTube channel if anyone is interested in taking a look back at those. So your feedback and input are very valuable and greatly appreciated. While there are changes throughout the document, we decided that we wanted to methodically review it with you in the following sequence. So on September 24th, we focused on sections 1 through 5, October 8th on sections 6 through 10, and then tonight, sections 11 through 16. But we also recognize that everyone's very busy, right? And there may be comments that are outside of 11 through 16 tonight that you'll have an opportunity to comment on. So, today we want to hear from you. What modifications do you like? Do you have any questions? What are your concerns? What would you change and why? So that's key. And the draft document that we published online on August 14th used what we call track changes. So it was the original document, the 2019 version, and it was redlined with what was new, what was being deleted. And we felt that a document that's 105 pages, that it would be good to see what was there and what's being deleted in addition to what's being added. It's a little easier to follow along than setting 2 documents side by side and going page by page. So tonight we're going to focus on, again, section 11, amendments, section 12, public hearings, section 13, town plan commission, section 14, validity, section 15, complaints, section 16, appendices, and then at the very end, any other sections that you would like to go back to. So We go ahead and stop share at this point. And just confirming that you can still hear us.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. I'll turn it back over to Charlie.
Yep, thanks, Rich. So we'll move on to item 4, public questions and answers, comments on draft zoning ordinance. We'll start with section 11 amendments. Anyone has any questions on section 11?
And if anyone is interested, we do have copies of the document up here at the table. If you'd like, here, I can bring one. Yep, and we also have, this is available on our website. But this is the comprehensive plan, updated zoning. So check out that too.
Again, we'll field questions for section 11 amendments. Anyone has a question, comment? I have a comment myself if no one else wants to chime in.
I have 2 comments.
Go ahead, Alex.
Well, as Rich just mentioned a moment ago, like also pointing out things that, not just focusing on the things I don't agree with, but the things I do agree with. And giving credit where credit's due. I think 11.2, authority and limitations. This is the intent to maintain internal consistency, and I think that aligns well with the comprehensive plan's goals for predictable and enforceable governance. So I like that wording. And 11.8, I think that also aligns well with the comprehensive plan. So just wanted to point those out, that I think those are good edits in that section. And I don't really have any negative comments on section 11.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else before Mike comments on section 11? No? Okay. To follow up on what Alex said in regards to section 11.2, I know we have in there the ability of the town board to change at their discretion any part of the ordinance, including the text. And I think we need to review that a little bit. If you really want to look at that, it almost sounds like the town board at their discretion can change any part of this ordinance at any time without public input or a public hearing. If I'm mistaken, please correct me, but I just want to point out 11.2, I think needs a little bit of review, let's say, because I think the intent is to have this be more or less the community's document to some extent. And I think that's taking out a very important part of the process, which is public input, public hearings, and going through the town plan commission with recommendations before the town board makes their final decision. That's all I wanted to say on section 11.2. Paul?
And I would agree, at the very least, you'd have to have a public hearing before you change anything. In fact, I don't know if it still is, but it used to be in state law. You used to have a public hearing before you make any changes to a land use document.
Anybody else have a question on section 11? Comment, concern?
Well, I think that statement's true. I think Wisconsin statutes would establish those procedures where they need to be, it can't just be wave a magic wand and change it. It has to be reviewed by the planning commission and then hopefully presented to the public before text is changed in the zoning ordinance.
Thank you, Alex. Any other comments on section 11? If not, we'll move on to section 12, public hearings. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I don't have any on that section.
Anyone else online in the audience? In person? We'll move on to section 13, which in regards to the town plan commission. Duty. Go ahead, Alex.
13.5 powers C. I think the text reads, interpret this ordinance and all ordinances under the jurisdiction of this commission I think the gap there is that the interpretation power should be balanced, but do we have a zoning board of appeals in the town of La Pointe?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so I think it should be balanced with that power to avoid ambiguity. Um, and I can send you, this is obviously text I have written, so I can send this all, but um, just a text clarification um, versus application to specific facts, which often borders on the zoning board of approval's variance or appeal work. So just think there should be a little more uh, uh, balance there. And that's my only comment on section 13.
Anybody else have any questions, comments?
You define balance,
Define balance.
yes.
Um, that's a good question. I think, I mean, kind of referring back to what we were just talking about, like, if there's changes or whatever, it just needs to go through, you know, a process, not just,
Checks and balances, maybe?
yeah, checks and balances, which is, the zoning board of approval would be that sort of public interface, I think.
Well, and a chance to maybe appeal a decision without having to go to court necessarily right away.
Yeah, that's what the ZBA would do.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Sue Ellen has a question. What is it? Membership
Yeah,
under section 13.5, you said?
1.3.
Or what is it? 13.3. Okay.
5 residents of the town still haven't nailed down.
We're going through discussions currently on what constitutes membership on the town plan commission in regards to residency.
We have to nail down a definition for that, so there's no ambiguity anywhere. We were going to talk to the town lawyer about that, what to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Sue Ellen. Anybody else? We'll move on to section 14, which is validity. A short section, but anyone have any questions or comments?
I don't.
Good with 14. So then we'll go on to section 15, complaints. Any questions?
I don't.
Okay. So section 16 then carries us into the appendix and appendices. Any concerns or comments? It's all of our setbacks and
I mean, it all,
dimensional requirements.
it all kind of, it all kind of jives with this, what the earlier things are, right? I mean, the only reason I mentioned that is because the copy I had is kind of like skewed. It's off the page, is the only thing I'm mentioning.
One thing I did notice, Rich, is under 16.3 structure height. There's a reference there, and I'm reading off of a really small printed copy, so that's why I'm this close, but it says after 16.3, it goes to 16.1A. And should that read 16.3A or should that be 16.1A? Do you see that?
I
right?
do. Yep.
Or is that just a typo? Or am I missing
Probably
it?
a typo, but I'll go back and look at that. So when the numbering when things were added and deleted, there was some numbering issues.
Sure.
So it's very possible it's a typo.
Okay, thank you.
Why is it all in red?
Those are. Well, red was supposed to be for changes, but you
Yeah.
mean, why is that all printed in red? I didn't print it.
Okay, so it's not, as a rule, the changes are in red, and this is all in red. Doesn't mean it's the name it's changed, right?
Yeah, so, correct. So how I believe that ended up happening was because R4 was added. So the new zoning district, and then that it changes the entire table. So not every number on there changed.
Okay,
It was the fact that a column was added.
Does anyone else have any comments on the appendix and appendices for the ordinance? Online, in the audience?
Let's see. 16.3 zoning district use matrix under dwelling incidental, which is campers and park models, which is allowed in W1, W2, R1, R2, R3, S1, S2, C1, permitted use. I'm just going to read this. The comp plan calls to clarify and enforce what is not allowed for campers. This ordinance defines dwelling incidental, which includes camping units, park models, as permitted uses across most of these districts. And section 4.3D regulates long-term camping unit as an incidental dwelling. And I guess I just want the recommendation is to ensure the definitions and limits on use and rental, cross-referencing sections 4.3D and the rental ordinance, are sufficient to prevent unregulated permanent recreational vehicle housing, which could undermine the goal of orderly, permanent, affordable housing development, which I think we're kind of seeing on the island.
I can't find where that's written.
What are you looking for?
What he just said.
Under what, 4.3D? Or definition? He's referencing to part of the zoning land use matrix.
Yes.
District. Yeah, and I apologize because my matrix is cut off on the one side, so, but it's in regards to campers and is it campers and campgrounds or just campers in general?
Well, they're allowed in all those districts I mentioned. But I guess maybe a finer point definition of what a camper is, and maybe, is it 30 days or less, or transient or non-transient?
We have definitions. We have currently right now a limit on how many can be on a site.
Okay.
But your comments are appreciated, that's for sure. And it's definitely something that has come up in the recent past. Anybody else with any comments or concerns? Before moving on to other sections as needed. If there's no comments on section 16, we may as well move into that. So if anyone has a comment on any part of the ordinance, that's fine. Steve?
I would have a question about the signs of course. 5.5. Page 32.
What's your question?
The point that would apply to my own business. Type 2. Home business or home business. I'm allowed to have one sign. Right away, placed at right away.
Correct.
Okay. And then at the type 5 sign. Is that an additional sign that's allowed? Feather flag over. Yeah.
I think as proposed, it probably would, it would allow you to have a sign such as a feather flag or banner or guidon shall not exceed 30 square feet in area, no more than one such sign per property. That's how I would read it.
Okay.
Business or service and
I've been coming to this committee for I think 2 years now, requesting directional sign from Benjamin and or North Shore Road. And there's nowhere in here, to my knowledge, to my reading, that any of that is addressed. I've been researching the state of Wisconsin and tourist signs that they allow on highways. And I'm wondering if the state of Wisconsin, if they allow a tourist sign on H, if that is controlled by this.
we're more restrictive than the county, so yes, we,
Well, this is a state.
same thing. I think we're more restrictive than the state, so I think our ordinance takes precedence in that matter.
Okay.
And again, I know I've harped on this in the past, but if you want to read the beginning of the signs and the intent, I'll read it for everyone in the audience.
I'm very familiar with it.
Well, I'm going to read it anyways for other people. Yep. It's to maintain and enhance the tunnel points unique visual characters. That character emphasizing water vistas, scenic beauty, and historic buildings could be threatened by an uncontrolled proliferation of signs. The resultant scenic blight would diminish the community's attractiveness to residents and tourists, reduce property values, and the distractions of excessive signage would aggravate traffic safety concerns. Furthermore, the purpose is to set forth additional requirements to safeguard life, health, property, public welfare, and to preserve and enhance aesthetic values by regulating and controlling the size, number, location, construction, illumination, installation, and maintenance of all signs referenced to in this section.
I understand that. There's also a lot of signage that's going on from firewood to get you moving properties to events that go on throughout a season.
And we need to address that. I've been saying this since I got on the board. We need to start doing more enforcement around town so everyone's treated equally.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's what I expect this department should be doing as well. I agree.
Yeah.
Anyways, any other questions? Concerns? Other than the sections we covered tonight, anything from section 1 through section 10? Anyone online? Alex?
Well, I submitted earlier this afternoon a 14-page document. Should I just read it word by word?
If you so wish, I just got it before the meeting tonight along with Steve McHugh's letter, so I must admit I haven't read either of them, but go ahead, Alex.
Well, no, I won't read it for word, but I just.
You don't have to read it word for word, but if you want to just cover it how you want to summarize it, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that, in the last meeting that I was there in person, it was suggested that we, provide like specific, line by line changes to the text. And that's what this 14-page document does. It kind of outlines all the concerns I've had and the other people that are supporting what I've been putting together, and, what sort of we collectively are thinking the changes that we're suggesting should be made to those particular sections. And then I guess, I understand this is the last listening session, but I'm curious as to what would be the formal response to my letter and request for those changes after this meeting.
Well, I think we're in the near future, we're going to have this on the agenda to discuss. And we've basically taken all of the comments from the 3 question and answer sessions, and we're going to try and address that as best we can. And then more than likely, and this is just my opinion, have that out there as like revisions to our suggestions before we present it to the town board, and then have it go out for public review again. So whatever we come up with, I think, in my opinion, would be to have it gone through, make the necessary changes, and then submit it to the public for one more review. And probably, I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't be opposed maybe necessarily to having another public hearing before we send it on to the town board, but I can't say that for sure. I'm only one of 5. And I don't know if Rich has anything to add to that.
I think that's a good summary. I mean, your feedback is very important. And thanks, Steve, and thanks, Alex, for providing us comments. You know, the process is when I get those, I immediately distribute them to TPC and get them in the mailbox. And then we've also got a 3-ring binder in our office where I print them out and I put on there what day we received it. And, you know, we've already started talking about some of those comments that we got from earlier meetings. Now we've got the universe of comments that we're going to start going through. So
Okay.
I think Charlie summarized the process pretty well.
And if anyone else on the town plan commission wants to chime in, that's fine. We have a meeting next week, and I assume this would be on the agenda or not? We have a pretty lengthy agenda a week from today.
We do. So if it's not on there, it will be added for.
I would
for
add
next
it.
week.
Yes. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of it here. But
Well, I do, but I can't find it right now.
December.
Yeah,
Any
I-
other? Yep, go
no,
ahead, Dave.
sorry about that, Charlie. I would agree. I think we owe it to the public to publish our process. So if that's a discussion topic of our next TPC, I think that would be a good one.
Thank you.
Here it is.
Yeah, we need to include that.
we'll add it.
Thank you. Any other questions tonight in regards to the zoning ordinance? Any questions, comments? Any other? Eat that.
Mine.
That's yours. Thank you. Well, if there's no other comments, I'll move that we adjourn.
Thank you all.
So we're adjourned.
Yep. Thank you guys for all your work. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for zooming in and coming down in person. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, Reverend.